Welcome to EPG Pathshala Philosophy. I am Satchidanand Mishra, Professor in the Department of Philosophy and Religion, Banaras Hindu University, Varanasi. I am going to present here the module Inferential Defect, which is related to paper 2, and the content writer of this module is Nirmalya Guha. When we talk about inferential defect, this is actually Hetvabhas. The Sanskrit term for inferential defect is Hetvabhas. And what is Hetvabhas? The definition we are going, and nature of Hetvabhas and kinds of Hetvabhas we will be discussing in this module. And what is the nature of Hetvabhas? This is the first question. And the second question is, what are the kinds of Hetvabhas? So, Hetvabhas word is understood in two ways. One meaning of Hetvabhas is Dushta Hetu. This is to say defective province. So, what is the defective province? That is Hetvabhas. This is one meaning of Hetvabhas. Second meaning of Hetvabhas is defects of province. This is to say, what are the problems related to, what are the defects related to province does not produce a sound inference, and or they prevent inference being produced. Inferential cognition is not produced at all. So this is the point here to be taken. So the definition of Hetvabhas is given simply that yad vishayakatvena jnanasya anumiti pratibandhakatva. Having what as a content, a cognition prevents inference to get from production. That content is actually Hetvabhas. This is and because that content is therefore we call that provision Hetvabhas. Therefore we are not able to infer something in a particular case of inference. So there are 5 kinds of Hetvabhasas, and this is the definition of Hetvabhas: yad vishayakatvena jnanasya anumiti pratibandhakatvam. Having what as a content, a cognition prevents an inferential cognition getting produced. That content is actually responsible for this all problem issue, and therefore that is called a Hetvabhas. That is the issue, that is defect, that is the defect of Hetu, and therefore it is called, the Hetu is called a defective Hetu, Hetvabhas. So in order to understand this point, we have to understand that what prevents what. What is the how we can understand this point, which this is known as pratibadha pratibandhak bhav. So what is the pratibandhak and what is the pratibadha? What will prevent what? This is to say, if there is a presence of X, then there wouldn't be absence of X. So if there is a cognition of presence of X, then there won't be cognition of absence of X. So this is the first way of preventing something, and this is the case if there is a present and this presence is known, then there will not be a cognition having its content absence of that A. So this is one way, and this is the simplest way to understand. In the same way, there is another case when you know that there is X which is pervaded by Y. So if you are knowing it that there is X which is pervaded by Y, so you cannot have the cognition of absence of Y. So this is these are two ways in which one cognition can prevent another cognition. So this is the basic point to understand, and without understanding it, we cannot understand the issue which is related to this Hetvabhas. So in this way, we can understand that if there is there are certain doshas, certain Hetvabhasas which prevent which can prevent inferential cognition, that is anumiti, inferential cognition, but all cannot prevent the inferential cognition. So in the definition of Hetvabhas, what I have said, that yad vishayakatvena jnanasya anumiti pratibandhakatvam, what having as an object or what having as the content of cognition, the cognition is preventing the inference to from taking place, that is the defect. So if there is a Vyavichara Gyan, cognition of deviation, so the cognition of deviation cannot directly prevent the production of inference, because the cognition of deviation is not actually the absence of what is taken as inferential cognition, what is the object of inferential cognition. Suppose we are inferring there is smoke in the mountain. So what will be the preventer of this inferential cognition? The preventer of this inferential cognition would be that there is no smoke in the mountain. This cognition would prevent this inferential cognition that there is a smoke in the mountain. But this cognition that fire deviates a smoke cannot prevent, because there is no direct contradiction between these two things. There is no rivalry at all. So one cannot prevent another. So students, there are 5 kinds of Hetvabhasas, and these are called Sabyavichara, Viruddha, Satpratipaksha, Asiddha and Badhita. So Sabyavichar is first one of them, and it means deviated or deviation. So actually the Naiyayikas are having it into consideration that this deviation could be of various types. There are 3 kinds of deviations, and those 3 kinds of deviations are understood as Sadharan Sabyavichara, Asadharan Sabyavichara and Anupasanghari. In conclusive, this is to say in conclusive. Third one is Anupasanghari Sabyavichara is in conclusive definition. So this is also taken as Sabyavichara. So what is Sadharan Sabyavichara? Sadharan means general. So general deviation is actually Sadhya Bhavavad Vrittitva, presence of Hetu at the place where Sadhya is absent. This is to say, if you are inferring X on the basis of Y, and this is the case that somewhere X is absent but Y is present, then you would say that Y deviates X. Y has deviated X, this is the point. So let us take a practical example here. There is a smoke in the mountain because it has fire. So this is the particular example of Sadharana Sabyavichara. Here we can observe very easily that there are many examples, many places where smoke is absent but fire is present. Like red hot iron ball, there fire is present but smoke is absent. So here Sadhya Bhavavad Vrittitva, Sadhya is smoke and the absence of Sadhya is there in the red hot iron ball, and there is the presence of fire, therefore this fire deviated smoke. So this will be the example of Sadharan Sabyavichara. Second kind of Sabyavichara is Asadharan Sabyavichara. Asadharan Sabyavichara is such kind of Sabyavichara, this is in general. This is to say, the point is to be noted that when we are inferring what happens, we take Hetu, and that Hetu, the province, should be present in Paksha, should be present in Sapaksha, and should not be present in Vipaksha. So this is the nature of Hetu, and these are 3 things which are simply required, and even Buddhist philosophers accept it. Naiyayikas, however, say that 2 more things are required, that is that Abadhitattva and Asatpratipakshatatva. It should not be contradicted, and it should not be Sat Pratipakshit, there should not be a counter inference, this is to say. So all these 5 are there required, but these 3 if you take, these are basically accepted by others also. So if such is the case, when province is present only in Paksha, it is not present in Sapaksha and it is also not present in Vipaksha, then it would be called Asadharana Sabya Vichara. So the definition of Asadharana Sabya Vichara is given, Sapaksha Vipaksha Vyavrittah Pakshamatra Vrittir Asadharana. Asadharana is such kind of Hitvabhas which is not present either in Sapaksha or in Vipaksha, but only present in Paksha. So if such kind of any hetu is there, that hetu would be considered as asadharana. It is a different kind of deviation. It is not like being present where sadhya is absent, because you can observe here hetu is not present at any place except Paksha, and it is not proved yet whether Paksha is endowed with sadhya or not, whether in Paksha there is the inferential locus, whether in the inferential locus the probandum is present or not, it is not certain yet. So the example of this asadharana sabya vichara is given. Suppose one is inferring that eternity of sound on the basis of soundness. One says that sound is eternal because it is sound. So being sound, it is eternal if it is the case, if one is inferring in that way. So we can say that the property of being sound is not present anywhere. It is neither present in the places which are proved to be eternal, and it is not present in the places which are proved not to be eternal. Therefore, this example would be the case of this asadharana sabya vichara. Thirdly, this is called anupasanghari and the inconclusive. This is to say, the definition is given अन्वय व्यतिरेक दृष्टांत रहितः अनुपसंहारी. That would be anupasanghari where there is no अन्वय दृष्टांत, no व्यतिरेक दृष्टांत. This is to say there are no similar cases available nor dissimilar cases available. So this will be the case, the inference would be inconclusive, hetu province would be inconclusive, and you cannot infer in that case. The example is given that suppose somebody is inferring that everything is momentary. So if everything is momentary, in that way inference is made because of existence. So existence is put forward here, proposed as hetu, and momentariness of everything is to be proved. So how will you prove that there is a momentariness in everywhere, in everything, because of existence? Because the problem will be that what will you show, propose as similar cases, and what will you propose as dissimilar cases. And in order to know the knowledge of Vyapti, similar cases are required and dissimilar cases are also required. And here you can not find similar case because everything is included in Paksha, and nor you can find out dissimilar cases. So here this will be the example of anupasanghari kind of deviation. Second one is virodha. So virodha is defined as sadhya bhava vyapto viruddha. What is pervaded by absence of probandum, that is called viruddha. What is pervaded? If suppose one is inferring something x and on the basis of y, but y is pervaded by the absence of x, then this hetu would be viruddha. So this is the here this is the example, and let us take the example which is provided by Nayayikas. Suppose one is willing that there is a fire in the lake because there is water. So because there is water, there is fire in the lake, if one is inferring, so you can see very easily that where there is water, there is no fire at all. This is the case, and here the water is pervaded by the absence of fire. So because the water is pervaded by the absence of fire, and fire is proposed as sadhya, as to be proved as sadhya, so here it is not the case that it is a sound, and this will not be a case of sound inference. It will be a case of wrong inference, unsound inference. So here this is viruddha hetu. Third one is sat pratipaksha. Sat pratipaksha is such kind of hetvabhas when you have ye pratipaksha. Pratipaksha means contradictory inference. So if there is one inference proposed and there is another contradictory inference is also available, in that case none of those inferences would be taken and to be valid. Till then it is not decided which one is wrong. So from some time the judgment is suspended at all. Suppose one is inferring that the mountain has fire because it has smoke, and another one is inferring that mountain has no fire because it is stony, it is made of stones. So in this case there will be sat pratipaksha because there is a contradictory inference available. However, when you scrutinize, when you think over the issue, when you search, you will notice that one of them, between those two inferences, one of them surely would be a false case of inference, that will be unsound inference. But in so far it is not decided, you have to suspend your judgment. Therefore it is taken to be a case of hetvabhas because one is there surely to be defective. So this is third kind of. And fourth one is known as asiddha. The meaning of asiddha is not proved. So the point is there are certain things which must be proved earlier, and if those things are proved earlier, only then you can infer. In so far those things are not proved, you cannot infer. This is the point. So what are the things should have been proved earlier in order to infer? So first thing is that there must be the locus, the inferential locus must have been proved. This is to say, the inferential locus must have been provided by a praman. This is to say, the inferential locus must have been cognized by a praman. And if it is not cognized by a praman, it is not provided by a praman, it would not be a case of inferential. So this is the first point. Second is that the presence of hetu, presence of provenance in the inferential locus should have been proved. So this is second thing which needs to have been proved in order to inferential process take place. Third thing is that vyapti should have been proved. Vyapti of probandum should have been proved in provenance. And if it is not proved, so these are three things: paksha and presence of hetu in paksha, and third one is vyapti of sadhya in hetu. And if any one of these is not proved, then the inference should be taken as the inferential mark would be taken as defective, that would be taken as asiddha. And therefore there are three kinds of asiddhi. Unproved hetvabhas is three kinds of. One is ashraya siddhi, where ashraya is not proved, where the substratum or the inferential locus is not proved. Suppose you are willing to infer the sky flower, sky lotus. The sky lotus is very fragrant because it is lotus. So in this case you are inferring that sky lotus is you are inferring fragrance, you are trying to infer the fragrance in the sky lotus, but there is no sky lotus at all. There is lotus but no sky lotus. This is to say, actually what is the problem here, that when you are presenting this kind of inference, you are presenting as if sky lotus were the paksha inferential locus, but this is not the point. The lotus is actually paksha, and pakshata, the delimiter of that pakshata is becoming sky. So sky, the lotus is not related to sky, therefore there is no sky lotus at all, because lotus does not originate from sky, therefore there is no sky lotus at all. So here this will be the case of ashraya siddha, because ashraya means paksha is asiddha, that is not proved at all. Secondly, suppose you are inferring that in the lake there is fire in the lake because of smoke. So here this will be the case that if there were smoke in the lake, you would have been able to infer. But the problem is that in the lake there is no smoke at all. So paksha inferential locus is the lake, and in that lake there is no province is present. Therefore it is called the absence of hetu in paksha. Absence of province in inferential locus is known as Swarupa Siddhi, and this is the case here. So it is case of Swarupa Siddha. And the third kind of asiddha hetu is that when this is called Vyapyatva Siddha, when Vyapti is not proved. This is to say, if you can say that if somebody is inferring that the red hot iron is smoky because it is fiery, because if you are making it that this red hot iron has smoke because it has fire, so this kind of inference is not a valid one, because it is Vyapyatva Siddha, because there is no Vyapti proved in fire of smoke, because it is not proved that there is a Vyapti of smoke in the fire. Okay, because only from the presence of fire you cannot infer the presence of smoke, because fire is not invariably concomitant to smoke, because if there is only conjunction of wet fuel to fire, then only there will be the production of smoke, and this is not the case here. Therefore it will be Hetvabhas. And fifth kind of Hetvabhas is that suppose one is inferring that fire is cold because it is a substance. Fire is cold because it is a substance like the table. So in this case, this will be the case of Badhita. Why it is Badhita? Because Badhit is when Sadhya Bhava, Yasya Sadhya Bhava Pramanantarena Siddha Sah Badhita, in which case the absence of provendum is proved by other pramana, that is known as Badhita. So here through perception it is proved that fire is not cold at all. Therefore this case would not be taken as a sound case of inference. This is Hetvabhas. So in brief, we have discussed the nature of Hetvabhas and the kinds of Hetvabhas. And dear students, if you are willing to understand some more issues, you may consult the e-text and also consult the suggested material which are available Learn More section. Thanks.